Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Meade, and yep, I'm the guy that's 82, just like it says in the title. The reason I bring that up so quickly, I wouldn't normally lead with that, but I want to make sure you're not making an excuse of age as to why you can't make money on the internet. If I can do it at 82, you can certainly do it at 52 or 32 or whatever age you're at. Don't make age an excuse for not finding the very, very simple way to make money on the internet. Now, let's take care of a couple of housekeeping things right up front. The way I'm going to construct this video, as if you and I were having a cup of coffee in a local coffee shop, and I was explaining to you what we're doing. I don't have a formal system here. I'm just going to talk to you just like I'd be talking to you in that coffee shop. I'm also going to be making 3 or 4 other videos over the next couple of weeks that I think can help you also. So if you make sure you hit the subscribe button below and also the bell notification, you'll get notified when I post my new videos, and you can check those out for what I think is going to be some pretty good information. Also, there's no need to take notes during this conversation we're having. Don't need a yellow pad and a pen or anything, because I'm going to provide you with a link at the end of this video. If you watch it all the way to the end, you'll get the link that shows you in much more detail how my system works and how you can subscribe to the same system that I use. This is exactly what you're seeing today. The problem that I see is most people are really drowning in debt. Not most people, a lot of people are drowning in debt. And they're really living in kind of a fearful world that they're not going to have enough money. They got to be making their payments every month. I can't imagine being 24 years old, having a decent job, and having to make payment on a $35,000 student loan every month. It would just be crippling, I think. So let me give you a little background here as to why I think I can help you. I've been online for 21 years now. Back in 2004, I was buying houses out of probate. Probate is the process when someone dies that is used to disseminate the assets of their estate. And oftentimes there's a house involved. And I learned how to buy those houses and then flip them to other people who wanted to rehab the houses. And I would stay in the middle, and I could make $5,000, $7,000, $10,000. I think one time I even made $16,000 on one deal. So someone heard what I was doing, and they said, Ron, if you will write a book and put it on the internet, you could help a lot of people do the same thing that you're doing. And I said, well, that's great, but I got 2 problems. 1, I've never written a book. And 2, I don't know anything about the internet. I can barely use the keyboard. So how am I going to get a website built? And how am I going to get a shopping cart? And how do I get a autoresponder? And all those things that we had to do. Well, I learned how to have somebody else do it for me. And remember the time period 20 years ago. Today, the tools are all way, way simpler and available, and it can be done easier. But that's how I got started. The book did really, really well. We sold over 100,000 copies of the book. We had seminars, we had webinars, we had personal consultation. We had all kinds of things that came of that just because I moved forward, even though I was in my 60s at that time, and I didn't have any formalized training in this area. Boy, if I had had a course or something I could follow, that would have made my journey a whole lot easier. Unfortunately, about 7 years after I started, the government changed some rules and made my system pretty much obsolete. So I took it down, and I haven't been promoting that, and I've been kind of retired for the last few years. But I got a call recently from one of my guys. He lives in Virginia, I live in Oregon, and he called me and said, Ron, God, I got to tell you, I just closed my 11th transaction using your system, and I've now made over $250,000. And he said, based on the price of that book, because I remember it's $59, he said, that was a pretty good return on my investment. So I'm a happy, happy, happy camper here. So he said, but the reason I'm calling you today is that I have a niece who's recently graduated from college. She graduated with a degree in physical education, and she's now a trainer in a local gym. She makes kind of average money, really below average, quite frankly. and she's having a terrible time keeping up with her student loans. And she asked me if she knew of anybody that could help her get rid of or pay off her student loans. And so I thought of you. He said, "You got any ideas?" And I said, "Well, I got a couple. Why don't you have Amanda call me, and I will give her some thoughts and get her pointed in the right direction." So she did. Gave her some tips. I did nothing formalized. I just had a yellow pad that I wrote some notes on, and I gave them to her. And she started off on them. And next thing I know, she called me. It was 3 or 4 or 5 months later, about 6 months later, I think. And she said, "Gosh, I got to thank you. Do you realize I followed what you told me to do, and I've almost paid off half my student loans. I was at 42, and I'm now down into the low 20s. So I am just happy. I'm just so excited. You're my new Grandpa Ron." So that's kind of how I got my name, and I'm happy with that. That's fine. If that young lady has done that well with the advice that I gave her, I'm pretty excited. So that's what kind of started me thinking there's probably more people in that same boat that I could help if I just showed them a system that could be used. And so that's kind of what this video today is designed to do. I can't tell you everything, obviously. We have to go on for 5 or 6 hours. Nobody's going to watch me talk for that long. What I would suggest, I'm going to give you 3 tips today, or 3 secrets, whatever you want to call them. The first thing I would do is I want you to pick a platform that's going to work for you. Now, I am biased that I believe YouTube is the platform you should be using, but there's a reason for that. The reason is that YouTube gets 1 billion hours of watch time every day. Every day, 1 billion hours. And YouTube is the channel where everybody goes to get a solution to their problem, whatever their problem is. And I'll give you an example about that. About a while back, I was in Costco, and as I was walking down the aisle, I saw wiper blades. And so I knew that my car needed to have the wiper blades replaced. So I threw a couple of them in my cart. I got home, and when I went to change the wiper blades, I kept getting stuck. I couldn't get the darn things on right. They were kind of upside down or something. So instead of going on and on and on, I came in, fired up my computer. I opened YouTube and I typed in how to change wiper blades on a Toyota Highlander. And in 1 minute and 31 seconds, this mechanic showed me exactly how to do it. I walked back outside. 2 minutes later, both my wiper blades were installed and I was finished. So I had learned on YouTube how to properly install wiper blades. So if you need to install wiper blades, if you need how to bake the best banana bread you've ever tasted, how to potty train your toddler, YouTube is the place to go. So that's where you should be. Now, number 2 is you need to make a commitment. This is the thing that I think a lot of people kind of are a little weak at. Let's put it that way. I'll be kind. A lot of us are so into instant gratification. We don't understand that you need to make a commitment at something for a period of time before you can judge whether it's effective or not. And I'll give you a reason I say that. Take schools, for example. When you were in high school or community college or university, most of your courses were either 8, 10, 12 weeks long, a semester, a quarter, whatever. And you needed to take that course over a period of time because the educators know that it takes time for you to learn a specific skill. YouTube is exactly the same way. And I'm going to suggest that you do 3 months, 90 days. Devote 90 days, an hour a day, 20 hours a week, 10 hours a week. I don't care what the time period is. Whatever you can do, work at it consistently. And if you do that, do you realize that if you improve just 1% a day over 90 days, how good you would be at the end? I'm telling you, if you take the strategy that I'm going to show you here and you did that, you'll be doing very well. Now, I'm not going to make any commitments because I don't know how you work. And we all have to make that statement because I don't have any monetary commitments that I'm going to make to you, but I'll guarantee you'll be fine. Let's just put it that way. Number 3 thing you do is make sure that you work in a category that people want to know about. And guess what? I know what 3 of the top categories are. I'm not saying they are the top, but they are 3 of the top. The first one is how to make money online. It's amazing. You've selected this because you were intrigued by my comment that I can show you how to make money on YouTube. That is one of the best categories to work in. Another one is health and wellness. Everybody wants to be fit. Everybody wants to be healthy. That category does really, really well. And the third one is relationships. Now I don't do that. I don't do that one because I've been married for a long, long time. So I don't need the relationship one. But there's a lot of people that are seeking information, and that is a very, very profitable category for you to work in. So my suggestion to you is, if this intrigues you, as I said, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you've hit the bell notification button. I'm going to have more information for you. I don't want this video to go on forever, but if you believe that I am someone you can trust, then my suggestion is you click the link that I've given you below and focus on YouTube as a source of revenue for you. Now, let me say one last thing, because I've seen a bunch of this. If you've opened up YouTube, or if you've opened up TikTok or Facebook, you're going to be besieged, or I am, I don't know, I seem to see them all the time, of offers that say, give me $17, and if you've got a cell phone, I'll show you how to make $20,000 this month. Really? I don't believe that. I don't believe it. Now, do I believe you can do it? Yeah, probably. You probably can. Probably one person at least has done that. But that's not a recipe for success. You want to do something that has been proven to work. The best thing you can do is copy somebody. And I'll give you an example about probably the world's best copier was a guy named Sam Walton. Now, many of you know that Sam Walton is the creator of Walmart. But how did he create Walmart? Most people don't know this. He copied Kmart and he copied Sears. He studied them over and over and over and figured out what they were doing, took it from them, and he created Walmart. Now, Walmart's still around, and Sears and Kmart, or maybe there's some Sears stores, I don't know. There aren't none around my area, but there might be some of those left. But the point being is, he didn't reinvent the wheel. He took a solid system and then transformed it into his system. And that's exactly the big tip that I'm giving you. Make sure you copy a system that's been around for a while, that is proven, and not some flash in the pan that some young person is promoting for allegedly $17, that somehow in the next 5 minutes you've got it built up where it's going to cost you $1,900. That's called the sales funnel. Make sure you sell them something cheap and then add something on, then add something on. And pretty soon you've got 5 things you bought and your credit card is crying. So anyway, that's my big tip for you is, if it doesn't have to be me. I know what I'm doing. I try to be as honest and straightforward as I can be. But if you can find someone else, follow the system, be consistent in working at it, and make sure you choose a category that is profitable and will make money for you. So that's all I've got for now. Click the link below. It'll give you much more information. Grab yourself a coffee or a tea or something. You might want to take a notepad for this one because my friend Matt, who has designed this system very formally, very effectively, and I repeat it again, this is exactly what I use, and you can do the same thing that I'm doing, and especially if you're only 42 years old. You probably got a better memory than I do today. So anyway, hope this has been beneficial to you. As I said, it was purely a conversation between you and me at the coffee shop, and we'll get a couple of more just like this, so make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hope you're having a good day now, and we'll talk with you soon. Thanks. Bye now.